guy named Diddley had a dream so big it made him feel all giddy. He loved UFC, the fights and the thrills, so he started a podcast to share all the chills. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike, talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. Fights, every punch and kick, analyze the moves, every trick and flick, comparing each fighter, their strengths and flaws. Diddley's insights would leave you in awe. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike, talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. Every punch and kick, analyze the moves, every trick and flick, comparing each fighter, their strengths and flaws. Diddley's insights will leave you in awe. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike, talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. NFTs and fighters, a digital blend. Diddley's got the scoop, he's always on trend. From rare collectibles to the latest bout, the Final Strike podcast, there's never a doubt. Listeners from afar, they gather around for Diddley's insights, the best in town. With every episode, his fame would grow. The Final Strike podcast, the ultimate show. Even when the market's tough and times are lean, Diddley's resilience shines, he's always keen. Through highs and lows, he stands his ground. In the world of UFC, he's renowned. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike, talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. Podcast dream, bringing UFC and NFTs to the mainstream. With every word, he lights up the night. The Final Strike podcast, shining so bright.
What up, everybody? Happy Saturday. UFC is back in Kansas City, baby. The cigarettes are out. Thank you, everybody, for popping in this morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're at. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on the video for your boy. Appreciate you guys. Start off the day with the TFSPs in the chat. Get this giveaway going. I'm going to give away 2 rares at the end of the show. And let me throw up a quick poll here for the folks. Who's going to win that main event? I'll get that running right now. Y'all let me know what you think, and we'll take a look when we get there a little bit later. Appreciate everybody popping in today. TFSPs are coming through. Thank you guys for popping in. Let's get into Strike real quick, and then we'll get into this card. All right, so Strike challenge this week. It's for a rare, not the craziest challenge, not the hardest challenge. So, I mean, do what you will with it. It's not too bad, though. It's fan vote, so depending on what else happens today. So it's definitely going to either be Prates, or if there's some nasty finishes tonight, we might get a couple other choices on the list. But let's get into it. So, whole lot of words here. And God bless Flovana for taking care of us every week when there's a challenge and kind of making things a lot easier to comprehend. But You got one challenge this week. You can complete it in 4 or 5 different ways in one step. And then the last step you do have, everybody pretty much has to do no matter what. So let's see what we got. Step 1, it's all collection. You need to have 4 moments. Matt Schnell's epic, who's fighting on the card. Dalby's uncommon, also fighting. And then you got Ian Gary's common and Blackshear's common, all people who are fighting on the card. Collect all 4 of those. Step 1's all good for you, right? If you want to do a different route, you could do the Ian Gary rare route, the Anthony Smith rare, Pereira rare, Brown rare, Alice Scaroff fandom, and a Boost uncommon. Those 6 moments. You could do that one as well to complete step 1. We'll get into the pricing and stuff when I pull up Flovana in a second here, but just going to get through the tough part quick as I can. Then those are the 2 collection paths you could take if you don't want to burn anything besides step 2, right? Or if you want to keep burning stuff, other stuff as well. So path C, you'd have to burn Onama's uncommon, Simon's uncommon, Giga's common, and Andre Muniz's common. You burn those 4, you complete step 1. You could burn this set of 4 as well. Ming Yang Zhang, Polyana Viana, Randy Brown, and Matt Schnell. Burn those 4. You complete step 1. Or if you have a Matt Hughes champ, you complete step 1. So those are your 5 paths to take. You don't have to do each one of these. You could just choose one for the step. And then when you get to the second step, you have to burn 1 Carlos Prates. So that's a requirement for everybody. It is a multi-complete challenge, so you can complete this as many times as you like. I did mention earlier that it was going to be a fan vote, so we got 2 of Prates' finishes here. So we got the Neil Magny and the Leach finish. And then, as well as these folks, if there's any additional finishes on the card, these folks right here will be added to the list. With that said, let's just take a quick peek at Flovana. Makes things a lot easier to comprehend here. So if you didn't have anything, if you didn't have any moments in your wallet, the cheapest route to do this, you'd need floaty and you need to burn some stuff. So let's take a quick peek. So as you can see, the different paths, path A is $99. Path B is $71. Those are the collection paths. But to burn, if you wanted to burn, it only costs you $10, $10.90 on path C, or $9.90 on path D. Not too bad. And then your Hughes is at $300 on the champ pass. And then the Prates, $1.35. That's probably on floaty, I'm guessing. But that's what you got to do. I haven't burned yet, so it does show that I haven't completed the challenge, which is correct. I have not. Probably just going to do the 2. Just going to burn 2 Prates and call it a day with my collection paths here. I could maybe squeeze out another one here, but it'll cost me like $40. I don't know if I want to do that. Could squeeze out another one here. Cost me $90. Don't know if I want to do that. Could burn some of these, maybe, if I want to bring some of these numbers down a little bit, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'm holding some sets, so we'll see. We'll see what's up with that. But right now we're at 162 completions. Like I said, I haven't burned yet, so that's 2 more on the list once I do burn my 2 Prates. But overall, not too bad for a fight night, you know. I like how we get to vote on the reward. We got some good rewards coming. So we're definitely going to get Prates for sure, one of his finishes, or maybe something, you know, phenomenal happens this weekend or tonight. And we get some action on that. So we'll see. We'll see how the card plays out. But the card's looking pretty good. So on paper, it looks pretty solid. So that's what we got on the challenge. Gonna do a quick rundown of the marketplace, touch on some of those recent rewards we got and what we have still outstanding. And then we'll get into the fight card. But don't forget to get your TFSPs in the chat. Ming Yang KO. Could happen, bro. Could happen. For sure. Could happen. All right. Champ floor. Champ floor sitting at pretty much been pretty solid. Right around this 275, 285, 300 mark. We'll just call it 300. But about that 300 mark is where they kind of sit. Anything a little bit lower than that or a couple bucks lower than that usually gets snatched up. So high end, we still got our Khabib at 4. Francis, the bottlenecks really the bottleneck for series 1, bottleneck for series 0, so to speak. Nunes jumped up there recently. Namajunas. Some of these S0 champs are popping up there. Probably people getting those sets in order, especially because these are the original ones minted to 75. So they move pretty quick once they get scooped up. Marab and DC sitting at the same price for Series 2. So that's what we got on the champs. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. The Epic's been kind of interesting lately, huh, guys? Had a couple new ones come out. That King Green came out. So on the low end, we got the Werdum, still around that $30 range. That was in that recent challenge reward. So not too bad on the floor. 30, 35, and then it kind of gets close to $40-ish on some of those older ones. Leoto's there. On the high end, got our bottleneck. So still Bobby Knuckles. Dustin got his fight announced recently. Be interesting to see what they do with that. Lewis is up there. So these low 100 mints are kind of creeping up there now. King Green, that new one's at 375. Marab, Khabib, they're all back up to the 300s. So the Epics are kind of holding their own still for the most part, especially the challenge rewards and the ones that have been part of past burns. Take a look at our rares. How's the floor looking here? $5 solid. $5 solid with not too many there. So yeah, about 10 of them at 5, and then $6 or higher for the remainder. On the high end, we got that Morono. Geez, $300 on the Morono. Pretty wild. Chimmy, 189. Ige 85, Strickland 75, a couple of the ones that have been burned. Those aren't epics. Unfortunately, the site is just, super laggy. And I don't want to spend too much time refreshing, so I'm just going to keep it moving. Next up, uncommons, $2 on the floor. I think Connor's at $16. Bo Nickel popped up to 14 here. A boost fighting this week, so that's why he's a little higher than normal. Bomb Fiend was a challenge reward. Marab got burnt. Raquel was a challenge reward. Perez was a challenge reward. So, yeah, they're not too bad on the uncommons. We got 64 of those up so far, so getting up there. Getting up there. And then commons, I'm sure there's plenty still at $1. Yep. Plenty still at $1. On the high end, though, what are our highest commons? We got Dynamite Danny Gaze, Series 0, $9. Chris Curtis, $9. Bobby Knuckles, dojo moment. Derek Lewis. Some of these S0 burns are still kind of up there, S0. So yeah, pretty not too much changed in the up or down. Everything's pretty stable, I would say, over the past few weeks with the strike stuff. So with that said, so we already touched on that Bobby Green epic. We did get the Bruno Ferreira common. We got the Alexia Tainara uncommon, and we also got the McKinney rare. They're all pretty much at floor. So nothing crazy to see there. And then what we are still have outstanding is the two commons from a couple weeks ago, the Chang Ho Lee common and the O'Day Osborne common, and the Patty Pimblett epic. So Strike kind of caught up recently with most of those outstanding rewards. We got probably like 2 weeks back now, so not too much in the hopper. So good to see that, but those three are still outstanding. And with that said, we are going to move into the main event. Not the main event, my bad. The main card for this fight night tonight. Go through these. It's a pretty big card. There's 14 fights on the card. We got a lot of good names from top to bottom. I am just going to break down the main card, but I will quickly peek at these prelims real quick. Don't forget to get your thumbs up in the video and your TFSPs in the chat. Just grab those 2 floors on floating. There you go. There you go. Need a Fighting Nerds pack with a Ruffy epic. Yeah, that would be nice. Would be nice. Well, yeah, definitely wouldn't have a champ. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. So let's quickly run. We got Jocelyn Edwards, Chelsea Chandler. We got Morin versus Polyana Viana. I think she's the biggest favorite on the card here against Viana. Cameron Saman versus Wellmaker, Blackshear, Alatang Haley. Some good names of some up-and-comers, Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. Main card's pretty solid, though, gotta say. Main card's pretty solid. And we kick it off with Ikram versus Andre Muniz. Ikram sitting at a pretty sizable favorite, and rightfully so. Muniz is primarily a grappler. We all know Ikram's a great grappler as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Might nullify themselves, and then if it ends up being a striking match, gonna favor the guy who's throwing a lot more. Ikram's coming off of that bad loss to Bobby Knuckles, I believe. He hasn't fought since the Bobby Knuckles knockout. Yeah. So he's been out for a good amount of time, 10 months, I think that's a good amount of time to recover. Make sure he gets everything back in order there. But yeah, I think he bounces back in a big way because I don't really think there's probably a little submission threat coming from Muniz, but at this stage in his career, I just feel like speed for speed, Ikram's just going to be way faster than him wherever the fight goes. And what do they got here? His sub is plus 500, minus 170 on the KO. They think he's going to knock him out, and they do not think the fight's going to go the distance. So yeah, I'm leaning on Ikram to get it done. Muniz is coming off a win against Park, lost to Craig, lost to Allen, who are also grapplers, pretty good grapplers. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's got anything that will maybe he gets a crazy choke or something. I think he gets some kind of, like, if he lands some kind of crazy sub, that's his only path to victory. It's plus 900 on his subby, but I highly doubt that'll happen. And I think Ikram gets it done. So it's two good names to start us off for the fight night. So I agree, Big Whale. I agree. It's a great fight night for KC, indeed. It's pretty stacked. Next one's going to be a fun one. Randy Brown versus Dalby. So this is interesting, man. This is interesting. I think, on paper, Randy Brown's been looking pretty good. He's pretty, he's really tall, got crazy reach for the weight class. And he's been winning. Did lose the Brian Battle split decision. A lot of people, that was a tough one. But he was on a little tear there before that. Was looking pretty good. But Dalby ain't no slouch, man. Dalby ain't no slouch. And one thing I will definitely say about Dalby is he's pressure, and he's got gas for days, bro. This guy's got crazy gas tank, crazy output, crazy volume. And he was on a tear, bro. He was on a tear, beating up everybody. He like made Bomb Fiend crumble in that fight. If y'all remember that, he melted the guy by the second round. He was huffing, puffing, and just wiped him out. And then the loss to Renat was very questionable. That was overseas, so the refs or the judges were extremely questionable on that one. So maybe, I think this one, man, I'll be honest, I like Randy Brown a lot, but with the grappling and all the pressure and the nonstop pressure, man, I really think Dalby is gonna shock some people at that plus 250 marker. He's done it before. And he's tough as nails, bro. Doesn't get knocked out, doesn't get finished. Can take a punch. He's durable. He's very durable, even at his age of 40. I think this is I'm rolling with Dalby tonight. I think by the second round, Randy's huffing and puffing, and Dalby melts him like he did with Bomb Fiend. Maybe not finish him, because Randy's pretty he's pretty good on the defense. But yeah, I don't know. Once you start huffing and puffing, man, those hands start sitting a little lower. Or if Dalby starts wrestling really a lot, it'll be interesting to see how Randy, comes out if he doesn't knock him out early. But I'm rolling with Dalby because, he's durable, doesn't get finished, and it's got a gas tank with some crazy pressure. And I think he's put a lot of similar guys like Randy Brown in that type of scenario where they're huffing, puffing, and end up losing the fight because this guy's just an animal. So I'm rolling with Dalby with the big upset, plus 250. Next up, we got Pereira versus Abus. I don't know, man. I don't know. I never was really a big fan of Abus, to be honest with you. Not really a big fan of him. His first fight in the UFC, Sean Strickland destroyed him so bad. And then let's see what we had here. I know he got a couple wins. So he got a sub against Bruno. Smaller guy, though. Much smaller guy. And he went to the decision with Worley, who is also pretty short middleweight, too. So he got a couple wins over some smaller dudes. And now he's fighting a dude who's an absolute beast in the cage and has tons of power and finishing ability. Pereira's no joke, especially early on in fights. And I think that Abus, though he's a Dagestani, he's primarily a striker. He's a good grappler, don't get me wrong, but he's not. Pereira's faced way better grapplers in my opinion. Fluffy, definitely. A much better grappler than Abus by light years, in my opinion. Um, and he went, almost 5 rounds with him, but he ended up gassing out. I don't think Abus is going to be able to put that kind of grappling pressure on Pereira in this fight. And honestly, I do think Pereira finds the knockout and knocks Abus out. Abus has been knocked out previously in his career. Seen him go lights out in the PFL. And yeah, I think with somebody as explosive as Pereira, who's coming off of that tough loss, he's going to be looking for blood. And yeah, man, I'm rolling with Pereira by knockout. Pereira by knockout. That's my pick. And that is only the third of 6 fights on this main card, guys. Next one up, a nice, fun featherweight scrap, striking scrap at that. You got Giga versus Onama. This is going to be a fun one. The line's it's leaning a little heavier on Onama just because Giga, man, he's not active. It's one thing I don't like about him. Did have that fight against Arnold Allen. Didn't look too good in it, that layoff. But he ended up losing to Arnold Allen in July. So maybe he bounces back, maybe not. But it's a tough task against Onama because he's been looking pretty good. Good size. They both got really good size for featherweight. They're on the bigger side of the featherweights, the taller side. Everything's pretty much even. Giga's getting up there in age a little bit. You're gonna have more volume coming from the side of Onama. Onama has been winning, and he's been looking good. So we'll see which Giga comes out. We'll see which Giga comes out tonight. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I like Giga a lot. But man, I don't know. Onama's been looking real good at the weigh-ins. I gotta say, Onama's definitely looking like Giga did miss weight as well. So who knows how bad that weight cut is for him. But yeah, Onama definitely looked like he was ready to go. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. More volume in a striking fight. They think it's gonna go the distance. Yeah, they do. Yeah, if it's gonna be a striking fight, point fight, you gotta favor the guy who's gonna be throwing more volume. And that's gonna be Onama. That's gonna be Onama. Yeah, I think it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one for me. I do think the Onama's probably gonna take this one. Younger dude. Didn't miss weight. Yeah, I think the intangibles are in his favor, and I think I'm gonna roll with Onama. Onama to get the job done. Next up, we're at the co-main event, guys. Co-main event of the evening, a retirement fight at that for Anthony Lionheart Smith. What a run. What a run. If you look at this man's record, even though he's been on a little bit of a losing streak, he's had some, some ups and downs, some questionable calls. 38 and 21, dude. That's crazy number. This is going to be his 60th fight of his career. 60th fight. That's probably the number he wanted to end on too, but yeah, 60th fight, bro. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, even though a lot of people don't like him, a lot of people hate on. He's definitely could be extremely, some of his takes and some of the things he says could be really annoying at times. But shit, you gotta respect the man who made the walk 60 freaking times. You know what I'm saying? Zhang Mingyang is coming in to spoil the party. And this guy's been looking like a killer. There's a 10-year age gap here. Everything else is pretty close. Anthony Smith's a little bit taller, but if you look at the volume, we know this guy's coming out swinging. But I will say, Smith does have one shot. The good old plus 900 subby. The good old plus 900 subby. So if he can land one of those fluke subs, not fluke because he's done it a few times, but that like how we got Petrino, I can see it happening. I can see it happening. As long as Zhang Mingyang stays, doesn't get too reckless in there, keeps his composure, doesn't put himself in jeopardy, he should probably get this done relatively quick. But you never know. You never know. If you wanna take a little hedger at plus 900, don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I do think Anthony Smith is gonna lose, especially based off of that last performance against Dominic Reyes. Just didn't look like he wanted to be there. It was just, there was a lot going on. And well, maybe it comes out better. Maybe it's a better fight. But based on what the odds makers saw last time out, they're kind of everybody's leaning on Ming Yang Zhang by KOs minus 250. So it's tough, man. It's tough. But I mean, can only go based off of what we've seen, bro. And I'm with you, Dark Vengeance. I think he gets knocked out, brother, unless he finds a fluky sub somehow. I think it's just going to be like a matter of time in that fight before it happens, But, hey, man, 60 walks, some crazy shit. So shout out to Anthony Smith. That's crazy numbers. So, all right, guys and gals, we are here at the main event of the evening. Don't forget to get your TFSPs in the chat. We are going to be running those two rares at the end of the show. And the poll says Ian Machado, Gary, 52%. The TFSP chat room is a little tight. It's a little close here, guys. What's going on? What's going on? But we got some nerds. Yeah, honestly, for me, it's a tough fight to pick on paper. Because, there's definitely there's a lot going for each guy, right? Prata's been looking like a world beater, killing everybody, knocking people out. Hasn't fought anybody as, anywhere near the level of Ian Gary. Ian Gary, coming off of his first loss of his career, has fought some pretty good, tough guys in the welterweight division. Definitely has a much stronger resume and, strength of schedule at this point in their careers than Prates. So this is a big jump up for Carlos Prates in his strength of schedule, the rankings, all that good shit. Hasn't really fought anybody at this caliber yet in the UFC. Neil Magny. I'd say Neil Magny's kind of more on his way out than on his way up. And it's, it's interesting. It's an interesting fight here for these guys to make. Ian Gary is 4 years younger than Carlos Prates, everybody. Just so everybody's aware, Gary is 4 years younger. He's a little bit taller, but Prates has a 3.5-inch reach advantage. They pretty much throw about the same amount of volume. Ian Gary has been grappling a little bit more in his last few fights. So that's one thing we will be interesting to see. If Prates Carlos is older because he smokes 15 cigarettes a day. And that's another thing. This is a 5-round fight. This is a 5-round fight. Gary has been 5 rounds before a few times in his career at this point. And Prates, we really haven't seen him outside of the, second, third round. Let's take a quick peek at Mr. Prates. First, second. Hasn't been in the third round or past the second round in his UFC career. And yeah, he's going to definitely need to knock out Ian Gary, in my opinion, early in this fight, or it's going to start swaying into Gary's favor. But I got to say, Gary's got a pretty good chin. He's gotten wobbled in a few of his fights, and he always recovers and rallies. Jeff Neal cracked him a few times. Let's take a look. Gary's got a lot of fights in the UFC here. Song Kanong cracked him, and he came back and finished him. Got cracked a few times by Jeff Neal. I think MVP cracked him a few times, but he doesn't really get dropped, He doesn't get dropped. Shavkat cracked him a bunch of times and didn't get dropped either. So he's pretty tough, man. He's pretty tough. Nobody has put this guy flat on his ass, and then everybody will say, well, Prates was the first guy to knock out Li Jingliang, but Li Jingliang's coming off of a 2-year layoff, back surgery, and 37, 36 something years old. Gary's 27 and pretty much never been knocked out. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I know a lot of people want to see that knockout, that Prates knockout, which would be crazy. But if I'm going to have to take a pick pre-fight, I'm a strength of schedule, guys, and I'm thinking Gary's probably going to, try and weather the storm and either implement some of that clinch grappling stuff that he likes to do nowadays, wear out Prates' arms and legs, and then who knows if he tries to take him down and sub him, or who knows? I know Prates got some good jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I just don't think his gas tank has been tested as much as Gary has been tested 5 rounds against some of the division's toughest and most elite fighters. So pre-fight, I'll probably have to stick with Gary, but this is one that I probably wouldn't put on a slip. I probably watch it live. This is one you want to bet live. Because if Gary's still in there after if Prates is beating the shit out of him and it's like the first round going into the second round and Gary's still hanging in there, it could happen. It could happen. But yeah, unfortunately, he knows how to win. Maybe not in the most exciting fashion, but he knows, especially lately with the clinch work and the grappling he's been doing, tries to avoid the damage, neutralize these guys' explosive power, and then eventually gets that decision win. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Though I would love Prates to knock him out silly, which could happen. Absolutely could happen. Anybody could get caught. You know that. But it's tough. Especially because this guy's never been knocked out in all his fights. And he's fought some pretty big punchers and great strikers. So he's good at distance management too. Like he's in and out. Always moving. Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be a tough night, I think, for Prates, guys. Even though, I would love to see him knock this dude's head off. I'm a roll with Gary. I'm a roll with Mr. Gary. It's funny watching them speak Portuguese to each other. Yeah. That was some good shit at the weigh-ins yesterday. I like it. I like the fire. I like the fire. Gary Duck Buckley trying to exploit one-legged Shav and still got beat. Yeah, man. We were supposed to see that. We were supposed to see that. Buck versus Cuck was supposed to be the thing. But maybe, I don't know what happens here. Buckley Usman now. Maybe those two guys fight because Shavkat's supposedly next for the belt. So, winner of JDM, Bilal fights Shav, and then they do a Cuck versus Buck #1 contender fight. I'm cool with that. Get it booked up, baby. But that's the card, man. It should be a good one. That's right, Del Boy. Gary was speaking Portuguese, Prates is English. It's true. It's true. It's hilarious. It's funny shit. Funny shit. But it should be a good card, man. From top to bottom, it looks like a fun one on paper. And those fights should deliver. Hopefully. With that said, we just got to run these 2 rares, guys. Don't forget to get your TFSPs in the chat. Going to give it a few more seconds here for the rares. And then I also owe some of the poker guys. I'm going to get those guys squared up too from the poker I did last week. It's a busy week this week. Had to get all my travel arrangements ready here for UFC 315 in Montreal, Canada, baby. I will be there live. And I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Last call for your TFSPs, y'all. Last call. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. 315. It's going to be lit. We got a good group going. Didn't get strike tickets for the record. I got blessed with tickets from one of the homies in Discord. My man Glode. Shout out to Glode. He was able to bless me with a ticket, and I am making the trip out from Chi-Town, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's run this bad boy. First one up. Here we go. Yeah, man. Figure I'm probably not going to be able to see my boy Bilal defend the champ ever again in my life. Congrats, Civil. Civil gone. Civil gone. There he is. Gets the first one. Second one coming up. Here we go. Hell yeah, Fubar. Can't wait, brother. Gonna be able to put a lot of faces with names finally. A lot of people gonna be able to, we're gonna meet a lot of people that I haven't been talking to for years. Don't worry, Bao, you got it, my man. Almost called his shot and he got it, baby. He got it. There he goes. There he goes. Correct him. Correct him. Ha ha. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But I appreciate everybody hanging out. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, I know Rios is probably going to get poker up here in a little bit. Probably usually starts 2 hours before the prelims. And don't forget to get your pick'ems and all that good stuff done. And until next time, y'all, probably I'll be back next week, but the week after that, we'll be in Montreal, baby. So we'll see you next week. And until then, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.
The guy named Diddley had a dream so big it made him feel all giddy. He loved UFC, the fights and the thrills, so he started a podcast to share all the chills. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the finals strike, talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, stop the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. Break down the fights, every punch and kick. Analyze the moves, every trick and flick. Comparing each fighter, their strengths and flaws. Diddley's insights would leave you in awe. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike. Talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. Break down the fights, every punch and kick. Analyze the moves, every trick and flick. Comparing each fighter, their strengths and flaws. Diddley's insights will leave you in awe. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike. Talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. NFTs and fighters, a digital blend. Diddley's got the scoop, he's always on trend. From rare collectibles to the latest bout, the Final Strike podcast, there's never a doubt. From afar they gather around for Diddley's insights, the best in town. With every episode his fame would grow. The Final Strike podcast, the ultimate show. Even when the market's tough and times are lean, Diddley's resilience shines, he's always keen. Through highs and lows he stands his ground. In the world of UFC he's renowned. Oh, Diddley's on the mic with the final strike. Talking UFC, NFTs all night. From the octagon to the blockchain, he's got the hype. Tune in, listen up, it's the final strike. Podcast dream, bringing UFC and NFTs to the mainstream. With every word he lights up the night. The Final Strike podcast shining so bright.